Well, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. And thanks for coming on this morning. We appreciate it big time. And looking forward to saying hello to a few folks here this morning. And we, as we always do with our romper room. And Mike, how are you from Norland? Andrea, there's Brahim. You missed my afternoon sessions there, Brahim. And Sonia, good morning. And Gail, how are you? Rose, the kidneys are snowed over today, the Niagara Falls. And good morning, Madeleine, how are you? Yeah, and thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. Mary, Rita, thanks again. We appreciate that. Karen, Little Britain, and Tina, Nova Scotia. And Fran from Orangeville, good morning. Nativity, how are you? Wendy from Wasaga. And Frida, good morning. And Rita, another Rita from Wasaga. Bernice, how are you? And Nellie, good morning. And Donna, Bell Valley. Carol, Moncton, and it's minus 15 Celsius. Shelley, good morning. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Nick from our staff. Francis, good morning, from Vaughan. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I missed Deneen, how are you? Lorna, Washington, Maryland. Vince, how are you? And Laurie, Niagara Falls. Cindy, Alliston. And Judy, Newfoundland. And Donna, good morning. Anne, how are you? St. Catharines. And again, thanks for the happy birthday wish. Fran, how are you? Diane, Thunder Bay. Heather, good morning. Bonnie, and Micheline, and Wanda from Virginia. And who is that? I didn't see. Roma. I missed a few here, guys. Sorry. And Kevin, I missed you. How can I miss you, Kevin? I don't know. Marlene, how are you? Ezrat, how are you? And Tammy, good morning. And Len and Judy, Edmonton, Alberta, good morning. Etta, enjoying our coffee right now. Good for you. Linda, Carol, and... Okay, let's get going. Okay, guys, I know I missed so many of you. I don't mean to. I just, first of all, I'm technically challenged. It gets up into the clouds. I can't see it up there when it goes by so fast sometimes. And I don't know why, and I don't know how to stop it, and I don't know what to do about it, if there's anything, okay? But I mean to say hello, and I don't feel slighted if I miss you. Okay? Okay, Heidi, let's start with you. I understand that xenoestrogens mimic estrogen and could create an imbalance in men and women. Okay, yeah, you're right. My question is, when you get estrogen blood work done, does it pick up the imposters? No. Or just my body's real estrogen? Yeah, just your body's real estrogen. And look, it only picks up your estrogen in your blood. It doesn't pick up estrogen in your tissues. And you're never going to get a proper reading in estrogen there because, first of all, you got a lot of estrogen in your tissue, not just your blood. They don't measure that. And today we live in a world with way too much estrogen, okay? And that's not good for men or women. It's one of the reasons that men have such low levels of testosterone, comparatively. And again, you know, we live in a different world. The world is toxic, okay? The powers to be are over wherever they are, and in Davos, and they're talking about the climate, but they should be talking about the plastics, the xenoestrogens, all the chemicals that are found in the world that are really destructive to people's health. You know, I'm not as worried about the climate as I am about, we're just surrounded by xenoestrogens. Your body thinks it's estrogen. They mimic estrogen, and estrogen is a growth hormone. You put estrogen makes you a woman, good for you. You need it. But when it gets too high, it's not balanced. And even in menopause, because they don't measure it. Oh, your estrogen's going down. Here, we'll give you some more. Like, you don't want to do that. I'm never big on estrogen. You got a lot of estrogen. You need balance. And men, we don't need estrogen. I mean, you need a little wee eensy beensy, teeny weeny. That's it. Men live on testosterone. But when their estrogen goes up, they got more estrogen than their wives. I've been saying that for 25 years or more. And that's how men get prostate cancer and women get breast cancer. And any uterine, ovarian, it's a growth hormone. We need to cut it back. Okay? And the best way to knock her down are, in terms of eating, is flax seeds. There's nothing like flax seeds, and the reason is because flax seeds have lignans 100 times more than any other seed. It's the only seed I really like, okay, is flaxseed. It'll block the extra estrogen in your body. And I know they call it a phytoestrogen. Yeah, but it's an extract. It's not going to elevate your estrogen. It does the opposite of that. It blocks any extra estrogen. We like DIM too. And as soon as our hormonal formula is ready, the best DIM in the world to block out estrogen. I had thousands and thousands of women and men on that product. And I could prove it with before and after estrogen pictures on the body. You know how many women I saw? They looked like leopards. They had so many estrogen spots on their body. And they never knew. They didn't realize how much estrogen their body had. Anywho, two hormones, estrogen, growth hormone. Insulin, growth hormone. Cut them down. Okay, thank you very much. And Connie, what causes a purple nose? Usually, okay, couple of things. Alcohol. If you're not into alcohol, it's not that. Alcohol can give you a purple nose, but so can some form of eczema, and rosacea is where I usually saw it. And rosacea, where do you start with that? Leaky gut. Leaky gut, leaky skin. And usually that's what I found in patients that had rosacea and a purple nose. Okay, thanks for the question, Connie. And Beverly, myasthenia gravis. Yeah, what about it? No fun. Okay? And it's usually the involuntary muscle, difficulty swallowing. You got problems all over the place. But again, it's a very unique condition, but I always start any autoimmune because that's what it is. Your body is turning on itself. Your body's producing antibodies, but that starts in the gut. Leaky gut. Leaky gut. Okay? You got to fix that, okay? And I'll show you a little picture because I have it right in front of me right now. Okay? What's the difference between these two carpets? Okay? What's the difference from these little pieces of carpet? Okay? This one is the way your small intestine should look like on the inside. Okay? Excuse me. It's the opposite of what I just said. See the shag carpet? I cut a piece out to show you an illustration. See the shag here? And I don't think they make shag carpets anymore, do they? I don't know. Anyway, that was big in the 70s, shag carpets, maybe 80s too, okay? You shag carpeting. But that's really what your small intestine should look like, because these villi, okay, in your small intestine, that's how you absorb all your food in the small intestine. And it should look like a shag carpet. But when you get autoimmune and when you get leaky gut, those villi have been carpet bombed and they look tight and they don't have the shag look. That's what happens inside a small intestine when you get leaky gut. Now through here, you have protein, garbage like yeast, fungus, parasites. They can get through here. And they get through that little lining between your blood and your gut, called the blood-gut barrier. It gets through. If it's like this, can't get through. Leaky gut. You can hardly get doctors to talk about it, even though there's been so much literature on it in the last 25 years or so. You need to knit that back up and get your shag back. And one of the ways to do it is lay off the sugars. Lay off the crappy carbohydrates, because there's inflammation that occurs in the gut. And, you know, what I do with leaky gut, I usually get people off no bread, no pasta, no rice, no cereals, no sugars, nothing like that. Do the 30-day reset at least, and even longer for some people that have a real serious autoimmune. And then I get them to heal that leaky gut. Bone broth with L-glutamine, I love it. Probiotics help regenerate the leaky gut and put that little endothelial lining there that needs to be there in order for you to keep stuff out of your bloodstream. Leaky gut, leaky skin. Leaky gut, leaky lungs. Leaky gut, leaky joints. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Leaky gut, leaky liver. It affects every area of your body. And this is why you want to knit that back up and get it to look like an old-fashioned shag carpet. Okay? Good questions. Thank you very much. Charissa. What are Dr. Martin's thoughts about having eggs when dealing with autoimmune? See, we just talked autoimmune. Isn't that interesting? And Charissa is going, my naturopaths, or so many naturopaths, stay away from eggs due to it causing inflammation. Now, Charissa, you want to take my blood pressure? It's going up. My blood pressure is going up. I'm getting a migraine. When I hear stuff like that, autoimmune, lay off the eggs. How stupid is that? Lay off the sugar in autoimmune. Lay off the carbs in autoimmune. Lay off the omega-6 in autoimmune, those crappy oils. Not eggs. Look, if you can't eat an egg, I had someone yesterday. I saw these allergy tests. That gives me a headache. I know I've told you this story, but it's been a long time. When I was in practice, okay, I had labs that would test to see if you were allergic to anything, okay? And because I was in natural medicine, they would contact me and send me some kits and whatever and said, Doc, if we'll do a complete, you do the blood work and all this, send it to us, and we'll give that patient a full report, you too, okay? And it costs $600. We send you a check for $200 back, okay? So it was a money-making thing. And anyway, I don't want to knock the labs, but all I want to tell you is this. Unless a patient, I said, if you give me $600, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get a report back, and you're going to find out you're allergic to everything, including yourself. I said, because you got leaky gut. And if you have autoimmune or any form of it, I said, you're going to be allergic to yourself and everything. It'll come back. What can I eat, Doc? Nothing, according to the lab. I didn't like that. I didn't. Because I said, I want you to be your own doctor, okay? Be Dr. Susie or Lucy or whatever, okay? What do you mean by that, Doc? I said, listen to your body. When you eat an egg, does it bother you? When you have any dairy, does it bother you? I can't stand when a naturopath or anyone else tells people that eggs are inflammatory. How stupid is that? Eggs are one of the greatest foods you could ever eat. The perfect combination of healthy fat and protein and all your vitamins and vitamin K2 and all your B vitamins and all the choline and amino acids. And how can that be inflammatory? Unless you're allergic to it. Okay, some people, they don't do well with eggs. I feel sorry for them. You're weird. Don't blame it on the egg. It's you. Look, I can't stand it. I get a headache. My blood pressure goes up. It's craziness. Eggs are inflammatory? Hello? Oh, anyway, I better get another question because I'm getting excited. Okay. Oh, John, you're giving me a headache with this question. And that was Sarisa. Thanks for the question, Sarisa. John, I'm wondering if coffee leaches minerals from one's bones. John, I dealt with that yesterday. Okay? Because I had a study on coffee yesterday that has a form of niacin. Okay? Trigonylene, or I don't know what they called it. I could hardly get my tongue around it. But they found a compound in coffee, as if there wasn't enough. There was 1,000 to start off with. Now it's 1,001. Niacin, a form of it, that actually lowers inflammation in your brain. Every study they do on coffee it turns out to be like this is one of the greatest supplements that you could take. That's why we have named it at the Martin Clinic, and rightly so, the real vitamin C. So John, no, it don't leach minerals out of your bones. Why would it do that? Okay? And I'll tell you where it comes from. I'll tell you where they tell you that. Because and listen, I heard this almost 50 years ago. Coffee is acidic. And in order to make you alkaline, it's got to take those minerals out of your body. Coffee's not acidic. Okay? A tomato is acidic. So what? The second you eat it, your body knows how to buffer it. Your body has baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Your body has that. It goes back to such poor science that it drives me crazy. And even today, coffee's acidic. That's no good for you. No, coffee's not acidic at all. The bean, yeah, maybe. But when you drink it, alkaline. The opposite. Okay? So it don't leach. It don't leach, minerals out of your body. It don't do that. Now, I guess if you drink, 100 cups a day, I don't recommend that. What's the sweet spot for coffee? 4. I had a good start today already. Okay. No, listen, I've been listening to this, John, and I'm glad you asked, because it gets me a chance to give you the opposite. Okay. It's unreal, guys. You got to understand, I've been around a long time. And now they're finally catching up how good coffee is for you. Okay? They're catching up. Anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-Alzheimer's. It's the best fiber in the world without being a fiber. You know me and fiber is overrated. Drink coffee for your gut. It's got 1,001. They found another one. Over 1,000 phytonutrients in it. Ascorbic acid doesn't even measure up to that. Coffee is the real vitamin C. You might think I'm prejudiced because I like coffee. Well, maybe, but I'm right. Okay, Beverly. Dr. Martin, does eliminating sugar and bad carbs stop progression of plaque in the arteries? It sure helps. Because listen, here's how plaque develops in arteries, okay? One, when you have high circulating insulin, okay? We talked about this the other night on our webinar. We went into big detail on high circulating insulin or insulin resistance. When one eats carbs, crappy carbs, sugars and sweets, and especially when you drink it, it has a major cascade of things that happen inside your body. You make way too much fat in your liver, and your body has to empty that. It tries to do that through making triglycerides. And triglycerides, 3 fat balls, are made and sent out of the liver into the bloodstream. Okay? And when that happens, you usually don't have enough HDL to go and get them. So what does that do? That starts plaquing up the arteries. The other thing is when your insulin is high, you create an inflammatory response. Your body responds to high circulating insulin by creating inflammation. Now, inflammation is all right if you have an infection, if you have an injury. But this is a silent inflammation that now starts to damage. The first thing that it does, it takes away the slipperiness of your blood vessels. Okay, that endothelial layer, the Teflon layer in your blood vessels. And when they're sticky, things stick. Your blood doesn't flow as well. Your body tries to repair that. It overreacts to it, forming plaque. And calcium starts to calcify the blood vessels. That's how you get plaque. So yes, sugar is terrible. Plus, you have inflammatory foods. Sugar's inflammatory, but so are those packaged goods. So are those, you go to any fast food chain and they cook their food in the wrong oil. Why do they do that? Because the oil police, you know, McDonald's used to use, what was it? Tallow? Beef tallow? And then the oil police came around and said, you can't use that. That's going to give you heart disease and it's going to make you fat. And it's bad because it's full of cholesterol. And the cholesterol hoax has murdered millions of people. Murdered them. Because people said, we got to use margarine instead of butter. Murder. Destroying your blood. Your body doesn't even know what margarine is. It doesn't know what those omega-6 oils are. Canola oil, Canada's gift to death. We help. They're hydrogenated. They're heated. They're meant for your car. They're not meant for you. And you get a cascade of problems. So if you got sugar, triglycerides, low HDL, that's not good. Inflammation. If you use a lot of oils, people live at the fast foods and the middle aisles of the grocery store, from cookies to ketchup. Not good. Not good. Okay. And I've been strongly advised to go on statins and high fiber. Bev, I didn't even see that part of the question because I would have had a headache. I would have got another headache. My blood pressure rises. I can't tell somebody not to take a statin drug. I can't do it. I'm not your doctor. I'm an educator. Okay? I'm an educator. But I want to teach you, and like I have been doing, what is heart. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease. Well, you could, in a way. Blame low cholesterol for heart disease. Not high. Okay, read my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. I talk all about it in there. And Nancia. What would help peripheral vascular disease? Well, I really like anything there, Nancia. You know what, Nancia? I've never seen that name before. I've seen Nancy, and I've never seen Nancia. I like it. Okay? What would help peripheral vascular disease? Anything that will elevate okay, we just talked about blood vessels and they getting clogged up and blocked up and whatever, right? Lay off the sugars, lay off the carbs, and eat a lot of, I'm very big on high DHA oil, and I'll talk about that because there's another question there that helps to lubricate your blood vessels. But I love also nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. So in peripheral artery disease, your blood vessels are not opening properly. They become rigid. And you want to open them. That's what nitric oxide is. Like, think of nitroglycerin. Opens. Explosion. A good explosion inside your blood vessels. Nitric oxide. The best, Navitol. I like B12 too, because a lot of people are very low in nitric oxide because their B12 is low too. Okay. Danielle, what do you think about DPA for omega-3? Well, DPA, okay, here, let me do a little teaching. When you see EPA, you'll never see DPA. I mean, rarely, because they don't talk about it. EPA, DHA, and Danielle's asking about DPA, okay? Now, the best of the best of the best omega-3. EPA, DPA, and DHA, okay? Don't get confused. Let me finish. DHA is the best of the best. Why is that? Because it's the long-chain fatty acid. So when you go and look at an omega-3, they're not all created equal, okay? They're not all, plants have some omega-3, but they're not long-chained, and they're very small-chain. Because only EPA, DPA, and DHA are found in the animal kingdom, okay? In steak and fish, okay? In the animal kingdom. So you want that long chain, that's the best. DPA is in between. It's a medium chain. And then you have a smaller chain in EPA, but they're all good. DHA is the best, okay? And what we do with ours, okay? It's a very difficult process to process in a natural way to get the highest DHA in a supplement. It's not easy to do. It's an expensive process, but your brain is made up of DHA. Your brain is made up of that fat. Imagine. That's why I love it so much. Your eyeballs are made up of DHA fat and cholesterol. Okay. Thanks for the question. We appreciate it. Okay. And, okay, Susan, what does my hair, okay, Susan and Nancy talk about their hair. Okay. And, why does my hair seem thinner on my hair wash days? I don't know, Susan. I don't know. You're unique? I don't know. You would think when you wash your hair seems to be thicker. No? When you get those oils out of your hair? I don't know. So you're the opposite. Okay? That makes you unique. But ladies, you give her the answers to this, because Susan, what do I know? I know one thing about hair though, okay? I know more than one, but here's what I found. I could go, you could bring me to a mall, okay? One day, okay? Let's meet at a mall or a coffee shop and watch people come in. I'll do some teaching. Okay? I'd love to have a coffee with you, by the way. Whoever. Okay? But I'm very observant. So when women come in and I look at their hair, because a woman's hair is their glory. The Bible teaches that. Men, not so much. Okay? Women, hair. And I can tell if a woman had a sluggish thyroid. Thinning hair, thinning eyebrows. I could tell. And one of the reasons, now there's a lot of reasons for the thyroid. We do a master class on the thyroid. And you need to get on our website and look at that. Because the thyroid can be sluggish and you still have normal blood testing. Because the thyroid and hair go together in a lot of ways. Here's the other reason that women sometimes have thinning hair. Not always, sometimes. It's part of the equation. Women, in general, do not eat enough protein. Take out a hair strand, 99% of that hair strand is protein. And you know, years ago, women, protein's hard on your kidneys. Eat salad instead of meat. And women went for it. They believed the lie. And it's affected them in a lot of ways, hormonally. And it'll slow the thyroid down. You need protein. You need fat for your hair. Okay? Look, there's other reasons. There's other reasons. And strands of hair seem thinner than before. What can I do? That's Nancy. So Susan and Nancy are worried about their hair. Well, you should be. You're a woman. Eat more protein. Okay? Eggs, meat, and cheese. Eggs, meat, and cheese. Bone broth. Tremendous for hair. You know how many hairdressers would send patients back to me and say, I don't know what that doc gave you, but I like it. And it was bone broth. I had them on bone broth, not for their hair, for other things. They had a bad digestive tract. And that can be a problem too, of course. If you don't have enough acidity in your stomach, you're not even breaking down protein properly. So you might be eating it, but you're not breaking it down. That's why I love digestive enzymes. Okay, better get going. Linda, you know how much I love Linda's. My nurse told me that without eating carbs, the body will start to pull nutrients from my muscles. What are your thoughts? I'm trying to deal with a headache. I can't handle it. Okay, Linda, I can't handle it. Pulling nutrients from your muscles if you don't eat carbs? Where did they get that? Where did they get that? I never seen a world that is so hung up on carbohydrates and so against protein and fat. See, God put eggs, protein and fat. Cheese, protein and fat. Meat, protein and fat. Together. And carbs, look, I'm not against carbs. If you have some fruits and vegetables, okay, lay off the bread. Bread's not what it used to be. You can have some fruits and vegetables unless you're on the reset. But you can live without carbohydrates. It's been proven. Now, I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying that. I want people to eat properly. If you're not eating enough protein, you're in trouble. It'll never be, I know why I'm sick. I'm not eating enough carbs. No, not once, not ever. It's a macro, but it's not one that is essential. Protein is essential and fat is essential. Body can't live without that. Okay, I gotta, oh boy, I'm talking too much here. Okay. Nancy, what are my thoughts on black seed oil? I like it. Jan, what is Dr. Martin starting each day with? Warm water, or does it matter? Well, look, it doesn't matter. Look, it's actually better if you want your metabolism to get going, better with cold water. Okay? But listen, I just want you to drink water. 2 liters a day, 64 ounces for my American friends. Okay? Linda, why is it through the day I am ice cold, can't layer up enough, usually because of your thyroid, and yet time to go to bed, I'm comfortable, sleep at 70. I've been on thyroid support for more than a year. Linda, you're weird. No, you're not weird. There's millions of women just like you. Okay? And do everything you can, Linda. Keep in good shape. Eat well. The thyroid support is good for you, believe you me. And you're weird. No, you're unique. Now, you're not even unique. Okay? You're not even unique. Okay. Shelley, what's the difference between arm blood pressure and wrist blood pressure? What do you mean by that? There's no difference. Well, usually at the wrist, they're taking your pulse. That's different than your blood pressure. That's your pulse rate. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. The best place to take your blood pressure is up here, not at your wrist. But I guess they can, you know what? I've never seen it. Have I? I'm trying to think if I've ever seen that done. Because you take your pulse rate. And they're coordinated to some extent, okay? To some extent. But you know, doctors do both. Thea, Morgellons, that is, what is that again now? The other day someone asked me about Morgellons. Autoimmune, I think, okay? I can't even remember now. I'd have to look it up again. Morgellons disease. Give me a little hint if somebody just can do that right there, because I'm drawing a blank. I think it's an autoimmune disorder. Isn't that a strange skin condition too? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Autoimmune. Start with leaky gut. Evelyn, why does a person heart become enlarged? Because they got a big heart? No. Because you got congestive heart failures usually, or pericarditis, or myocarditis. Inflammation around the heart, or the heart muscle becomes so weak that you get an enlarged heart. It gets bigger but doesn't get better, and that's called congestive heart failure. That ain't good. The fluid backs up in your lungs. Not good, not healthy, not good for you. Okay. And, oh my, I've got too many here. I'm not going to get done today. Okay, I'm just going to finish with, I better do this on another day. I just don't have enough time. And I got sidetracked. Okay, yeah, I've got about 8 or so more questions. See, I start pontificating and I don't go fast enough. Okay, guys. Okay, but we will answer these questions. I promise. Okay? Maybe we'll do it Monday. Okay, guys. We love you. And I mean sincerely and dearly, thank you for all the birthday wishes. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay? Time flies, man. I can't get over it. Time flies. Okay? Love you and talk to you soon.